What's up, guys? Little bit of a different video today. I think you'll like it. I want to change it up. If you guys follow me on other platforms, you know YouTube Shorts too. I post a lot of these drills, and I don't really offer much explanation because, again, they're short videos. I'm just doing it for more of like putting it out there, dumping content quickly. I'm not really breaking things down. So today, I want to take one of my posts, one of my drills that I use for my pro group, and kind of dig into the why. Why'd I pick it, or what's my goal for the drill, and why'd I have this certain setup, etc., and kind of let you climb into my brain from a programming standpoint. So to rewind here, I had about 10 pro guys in this session, 8 to 10, I can't remember. They're all coming in, all high-level players, some pro, some college, and they all wanted to have a really high-level session. And I see these pro guys coming in every single day pretty much, and they're really doing their own thing over here, and they're just doing technical work. Because again, there's only 2 or 3 of them. They can't do much. They're getting all their touches, 1 touch, 2 touch, volleys, footwork, their fitness. So when they come into me for a session, I really try to give them, live looks at goal. Like, let them play a little bit, because that's the hardest part in the off season, is having enough guys at a high level to actually do realistic drills to goal. Everyone can go against a wall and get your touches in. So with that being said, I wanted to make a drill for like a small-sided situation. I wanted to really work on 3v3 or 3v2, and specifically counter-attacking. So if you quickly win a ball and you're going to goal and you have numbers, can you capitalize on that situation and make the right choice and get a goal, or at least create a very good chance for your team? So again, I had about 10 guys coming in, and I was really, sitting at home with my notebook. I'm like, I need a good 3v3 or 3v2 drill. I'm not gonna be here and be like, yeah, I invented this drill. I'm not trying to invent drills. If you're trying to do that to make a drill so crazy that you're trying to like reinvent the game, you're probably on the wrong path. My goal is, can I make simple drills that have a lot of carryover? That is the key. Simple drills with a lot of carryover. I want my players to be able to pick up the drill quickly, where I can explain it and they're like, yeah, I got this. I don't have to walk through it 15 times. And they also understand what's the goal. It's obvious. So in this drill, it all starts with what I wanted to work on, which I already explained. 3v3, 3v2, counter-attacking football. So knowing that in my head, I'm like, okay, now what? I got to think about my setup. So the next step is the setup. So I'll make a little field here. So say this is the field. You're a rectangle, right? Again, and this is a mini field. It's not a big field. We're playing, 3v3 here. Say the goal is here. Here's your keeper, right? So I know I have keepers coming, which is also very important. The players told me, hey, we have 2 goalies coming. Let's find a way to use them. So I had a keeper that day. So now the drill, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll put 2 sticks here. 2 blue sticks. You guys see me use them all the time from Quick Goal. Shameless plug. Best equipment. Could be cones though, could be whatever you have, all right? We're attacking this way, obviously, to the goal. So I'm like, okay, I want to create a 3v3 drill. So, but I don't want to just do a regular 3v3 where it's literally 3 against 3 the whole time, because then we can just play 3v3 to small nets. Why bother even doing a drill? I want to create a mismatch. I want to create a 3v2 for a split second, but if you're not quick enough, it's quickly going to turn into a 3v3. So the setup, your first attacker is right here. I'll circle them if they're offense. I won't circle them if they're defense, okay? That's your attacker. My first defender is on the other side of that gate, and this player has the ball. So that's the ball right there in front of him, okay? So at least we have 1 offense, 1 defense. Again, I'm taking my time here, because when I'm sitting at home, it doesn't come together like that quickly. I have to sit here and stare at this for a while and think about what I want to get out of it. So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, okay, I need 2 more attackers and I need 2 more defenders. I'm like, okay, I got someone back here, probably like my 6 or my 8, maybe my 10. Let me get a 9. So I'll put a number 9, a striker back to goal in front of the keeper. Obviously now I would need a center back defending him. So now I have 2 attackers and 2 defenders. I got maybe a midfielder here getting pressed by this defender, and I got a striker with a center back on his back. Those first 2 players to pick was pretty easy for me. Now this is the tricky part. Where do I put the next attacker, and where do I put the next defender? I played around with this one for a while, but I decided to go with the 3rd attacker right here. right behind. Okay, again, is that a realistic starting position? Not really, but you'll see once the drill breaks out, it makes sense. And now the third spot for defender, I decided to go stacked, meaning not stacked, meaning just front to back, not side by side, right there. So someone I'm pretty much fronting my 9. So again, you got to think, one of the most annoying things for defenders, especially if you have a 6 and a center back, is that 9 or 10 that's kind of floating in that awkward space. So now he has to figure out, do I step? Do I pull this defender back? They have to communicate. It's a very realistic situation. You have a 9 or a 10 floating behind the 6, but in front of the center back. Can these two deal with this player? So now you have my setup. So let's rewind real quick. What's the goal of the drill? I want to create a 3v2, but eventually a 3v3. Next part, okay, what's my setup going to look like to make that happen? 3 attackers, 1, 2, and 3, 3 circles, and 3 defenders, okay? Now, the drill itself, how does it work, okay? I told you, the ball is right here with your first defender. Obviously, when you're farthest from goal, you can take the most chances. You can press, you can almost press out of your shape sometimes, try to pick off a pass to hopefully go to goal. So this player has to serve the ball to the first attacker. Once he serves the ball, he has to sprint around the inside of either stick. So he serves the ball, and he can sprint around the inside of this stick and recover, or obviously around the inside of this stick and recover. Okay, it's his choice. The attacker does not know which stick he's going to sprint around. It's the defender's choice. The attacker has to go the opposite way. So once this person plays the ball and beelines it around this stick, the attacker's taken off this way and going to goal. Okay? The second attacker has a choice to make. He can either follow the attacker, he can spring out the other way, he can go down the middle. It's just a counterattack. So obviously, by me making the rule that the defender has to sprint around the inside of the stick, it gives these 3 players a slight chance to create a 1, 2, 3 against 2, because this guy is stepping out of position. Okay? If he's quick enough, he'll make it in time, and it'll become a 3v3 again. But if he's too slow, these 2 guys will get in front of him, and you'll have a 3v2 to goal. Okay? So that's what I'm looking at. Again, when I'm putting it on paper, I never really know what it's going to look like until, we actually do it. I try my best to really make it, I call it like a win percentage. What's my win percentage for this drill? I'm not going to take a chance on drills and be like, it's a 50-50 chance this drill sucks or it's going to be good. For me, I was like, this is going to be like a, 85-15, 90-10. I'm pretty damn sure it's going to be good. It's up to the boys to be able to execute it. So now, what I'm looking for when it's live. This drill is really for both the attack. Let's start with the attackers. So the attackers, I'm looking for a few things here. If this ball gets played, right, and this person sprints this way, and obviously the attacker has to go opposite with the ball. If he's quick enough, and these 2 don't communicate, and this defender does not step out in time, what can this person do? Just bang it. If the ball does not get closed down quick enough, this person can just rip it right into the goal. So that should be your first look. If no one's closing you down, have a go, have a shot. But in real time, you have to be able to make that decision and not hesitate. Another scenario, right? If the ball gets played in and the defender presses maybe, right? Let's say he presses and he goes this way this time, and the attacker drives this way. Now, the person with the ball, I'm also looking to see if they can break lines here. Can they dribble? And if the person starts coming, can they occupy players? As they dribble, can they, the opposite this time, pull this player out? As this player gets pulled out, can they look for splits? Can they maybe dribble this way and split back to the left? Can they dribble left and find a runner splitting to the right? So can you split seams and hit through balls? That's the second thing I'm looking for. Can you find through balls and create easy finishes for your teammates? Another one, focusing more on this player now, is the overlap. Again, if this defender runs this way and this attacker goes this way, and also this attacker also comes this way, right? Pulling this player out. This player has a decision to make. Do I kind of stay with the ball here, or do I jump out and take this away and hopefully my defender can recover and take that? Again, it's all communicating. Can the attacker draw this person in, and at the very last second, you see it all the time in real games, just dump it out wide to the overlapping player who can then open up their hip and just craft it into the far corner of the goal and beat the keeper. You see that all the time on the weekends in the highest of level games, okay? And that's what I'm doing. I'm watching these games. When I'm watching the Prem on Saturday and Sunday, I'm looking at different situations. And I'm like, okay, how can I create a drill to put us in that same exact situation over and over again so we can train it, all right? So that's a few different options here. And the last one I'll say as well, just kind of build off that last one. Again, defender goes this way. Here comes the attacker. Maybe this guy is late and you don't have enough time to delay. Can the attacker just beat this person maybe? Beat this person yourself and then shoot it. You know what I mean? Then look for rebounds and loose balls and second chances to get yourself a goal. Okay? Now you can see what I'm talking about when we're trying to create a 3v2. If we're quick enough, we're taking this player out of it. He's gone. He's not even here. And we have 1, 2, 3 against 2. Obviously, if we're too slow, it'll end up being 3v3. So let's talk about that. If you end up doing the drill and this defender does a really good job of busting his hump back before these two guys maybe get out, right? Now you don't have a counterattack anymore. So now you have to think about, okay, my first option isn't on anymore. Now, what do? You got to pull the ball back out. Maybe swing it around a little bit to pull the defenders out and then go back in behind and look for a goal. That's very realistic. I like to use other sports. Again, I'm American. Everyone around the world makes fun of us because we talk about other sports, but you really can relate it to other sports. So I'm training these kids over here in America. I'm like, listen, in basketball, if you get an outlet pass and you have numbers, what are you going to do? You're looking to go to the hoop. Boom, drive, go. But if you go down the court halfway and all of a sudden someone cuts you off, what do? You pull it back out. And you go into what? You call it a half-court offense. Now you're swinging the ball around until it's on to dump it towards the basket and you score. It's the same thing for this half-court offense. If I'm on a fast break, boom, and it's on, I'm going. But if this person steps and this person steps and it's not on, I'm going to pull it back out and keep possession and not force it and wait for a good opportunity to swing it left and right, and then eventually, when it's on, dump that diagonal and boom, get a goal. So again, these are different scenarios that you're going to see. The last thing I want to go over, I've been really focusing heavily on the attack here. But this is also a fantastic drill for defenders. One, you're getting great agility here. Great agility. You know you have to sprint your ass off around that stick and track back. I have all these kids that are so good at football, but a lot of them that have no bite and no work ethic, and they don't work off the ball. I want the player who's magic on the ball, and I also want that same player to be a beast off the ball on both sides. So can you work on your agility and make it back in time to make sure it's a 3v3 and not a 3v2? I already touched on these two players, your center back and your 6. Can they communicate and figure out that 9? And also, this guy's coming back in an awkward position. And say both these guys are over here, right? You got to communicate. Can this guy be quick enough and be like, I got ball, you push, right? Communicate. If you don't communicate, you're going to get split. They're going to play around you, and it's going to be a nightmare. And it also all starts with the keeper, as we know. This keeper can see everything, as can your center back. Can these guys really talk and call it out? Be like, hey, stay ball, slide right, watch the split, pinch, tuck in, step, don't let them shoot, drop, all that stuff. Again, every single rep is going to be different. You're going to see the highlights in this video. You've already seen them at this point. You're going to know what I'm talking about. Different looks. How can you shut it down and put the clamps on that counterattack? You're just trying to delay as much as you can. Anytime you're getting countered, 5v4, 4v3, 4v2, or 2v1. Someone who's great at it, Van Dijk, one of the best defenders in the world. If you see Van Dijk go 2v1, he's not trying to get the ball. He's just trying to stay in that little bit of a pocket long enough where you're like, do I shoot it? Do I pass it? He's making you really think. And while you're thinking, his teammates are beaming back to the ball and getting back by his side to help him out. Can you delay? And that's why this drill is good on both ends. The attackers have to really think and really take advantage of their opportunity and not, blow it. Because in a game, you have like 3 or 4 chances. You got to make sure you bag one. And defenders, can you get back and organize quickly to shut down that counterattack? So that's really, while I'm sitting there literally at home like this, all this is running through my mind, right? And then I draw it out, and I do this on paper, right? To have good drills is no accident. And when it does come together, man, it really is the best feeling. When I watch those pro guys out there, literally, like getting after it, like smiling. Yes, again, they're cursing at each other. They're cursing at me. People are like, yo, you like your players, dude? I'm like, dude, I love that. That means they're into it. They really want to be here. They're enjoying the drill. They're not like, oh, we're going again. Because trust me, you can read body language. If you don't, they won't say it. They're not rude, but you can read body language when they're like, dude, this drill is stupid, right? But you also can read like, damn, this drill is really clicking. They want to keep going. They're loving it. They're keeping score, right? They're getting stuck in. They're yelling. They're cheering. And when we did this drill, it was a nice hit. It struck the right chord, and it really checked all the boxes for me. I needed a 3v3/3v2 drill. I had about 10 guys, so the work to rest ratio wasn't that bad, because again, you have 5 per team. So maybe I have a 9 who stays here for a few rounds. And then where are my other 2 attackers? They're waiting on the sideline. So again, this is also one of the most overlooked aspects of coaching and programming, is the work to rest ratio, the rotation. How long does it take to get into the next rep? How long am I sitting on the sideline? So once these 2 guys break out, I'd maybe have one of them stay and become the 9, and these 2, boom, are already ready to go. Right? And maybe I have my center back stay for a while, and I have my 2 defenders waiting on the sideline. The minute that first rep finishes, bang, you're in, right? It's just quick rotations. And maybe I do like 5 rounds of them always playing offense and them always playing defense, or 4 rounds or whatever. And then, boom, we switch. I do innings. Again, I relate to baseball. I'd be like, okay, offense, you're going to go 5 sets. So we're at the top of the first inning. On the top of the first inning, they scored 2 out of the 5. It is 2-0 going into the bottom of the first inning. Now this team gets to go, right? After that bottom of the first inning, they scored 3 times. So after 1 inning, what's the score? 3-2. Now we're at the top of the second inning. I'll be like, all right, we're doing 4 innings. You can call it corny. It just makes sense. There's no questions. How many rounds are we doing? What's the score? You can call it what you want, man. You want your drills and your sessions to flow. So I don't care what I call it. You call it this, tomato. It really don't freaking matter. As long as the players understand what the score is, what they're competing for, and the directions are clear, and you're not wasting time with what's next. What are we doing? Are we rotating? That's bullshit. It wastes time. You got to move. And this is what I've become very, very good at, and this is why I've become good at my job. I'm not the best soccer player in the world by any means. You probably can name 100,000 people that are better than me, if not more, right? Guys and girls. But I'm very good at what I do because I spend a ton of time thinking about this. This is not about being good with the ball. I'm on the sideline in trainers. I'm not on the ball in this. I'm not doing one-on-one training. You really have to think about how to get the most out of your players. That's why you see all these top coaches sometimes don't end up being the best coaches. Just because you're good at football doesn't mean you can coach. You see a lot of the second-tier players sometimes become the best coaches, because it's more about than just being good. You have to figure out how you can get your players to move, what drives them, what creates the intensity, what do you have to say, how do you say it, when do you say it. That's the stuff that really will take your sessions to the next level. So hopefully this made sense somewhat. I hope I didn't ramble too much. It made sense in my head. Hopefully it made sense on screen. But again, this is just one drill. We probably did 10 drills that day. But I want to kind of give you a look into my head, a look into my brain when I'm trying to program for different situations. So let me know if you like that type of video. Definitely give me some feedback. I definitely can make more. I would love to. It saves my body. I don't got to kick. I don't got to pull my groin doing all these technique shots. I'd much rather do this. I like talking. I don't really like to run. So definitely let me know, and I'll keep this going. So like always, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.